So I'd like to call this meeting to order for March 7th, 2023. It's our regular meeting of council at 7 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge, on behalf of council and our community, that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We'll move on to the mayor's address. During the month of February, I attended 19 meetings for municipal and or county business. On February 22nd and 23rd, we worked through the budget for the county of Renfrew. It was a difficult budget dealing with significant operational and inflation pressures. County Council was able to approve the addition of one more ambulance and staffing complement to address the decline in response times that the county has experienced during the previous years. On February 28, 2023, I attended a roundtable meeting with our MP, Cheryl Gallant, at the Cobden Legion. The Renfrew County mayors that attended were pleased to have the opportunity to discuss the local challenges municipalities are facing, such as affordable housing, lack of public transportation, healthcare, and reliable government funding. The Renfrew County Board of Health meeting on February the 28th, 2023, the announcement was made that Dr. Jason Morgenstern has been hired as the new medical officer of health for the county of Renfrew. Dr. Morgenstern is returning to Renfrew County where he grew up. Skating Loop on Golden Lake has provided a great opportunity for residents to enjoy this outdoor activity with family and friends. The lighting at night enhances the experience for those who cannot participate during the day. A special event is being planned for March 17th, 2023. Thanks to Cameron Montgomery, Teresa Rask, Natalie Corbin, and the volunteers from the Golden Lake Property Owners Association for spearheading this initiative. Staff is working on the draft municipal budget, which will be presented to council this month. And I was issued a challenge today at the presentation of the library budget from Eganville Council, that they would like us to join them for the ice bumper car event next Sunday, March the 12th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Eganville Arena.
What is it?
I asked that question and they had no idea.
They said, bring your hard hat.
Yeah.
Apparently, before bumper cars are on the
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I asked what it looks like. They said they didn't know. They'll find out.
That's funny.
They talk about the breakfast,
No,
March Madness breakfast. What's that, on the Saturday?
they didn't say anything about the breakfast. So I have a resolution that the March 7th, 2023 mayor's address be accepted as presented, moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burke. Councillor Burke?
Yes.
Councillor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes. I have a motion that the February 21st, 2023 regular council minutes be approved as presented. And I'm going to move in a second, moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buchwald. Are there any additions, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
And a yes. Carried. Thank you. We have no delegations tonight, so we'll move to reports. I have a motion that the February 2023 Ulster Union Public Library Board and CEO reports be approved as presented. I get a mover in a second, moved by Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Reckless. Comments, questions? I just wanted to make a comment about the fantastic job that the board and staff did in the fundraising. Having hit the 29,000 mark for fundraising is incredible during, you know, the times that we're faced right now. So that was kudos certainly to job well done.
It's been pretty, they've been pretty excited with their efforts.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burnt,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwalt,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Reckless.
Yes,
Yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.2 is the statement of council and board remuneration. I have a motion of council receive the staff report 2022 statement of council and board remuneration and expenses for information purposes. Can we move by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Byrne? Comments, questions? Councilor Reckless.
just the one thing, and I don't know if we have enough space, but you know where it has salary, conference per diem, mileage and expenses? I know when expenses, some of the medical expenses, that's included in expenses. I'm just wondering, so if the public were to read this, they might not necessarily know that.
That's correct, yes.
I'm just wondering if somehow, even if we put a star at the bottom of the page, just saying expenses include this, this, and this, just so it just makes better communication, maybe for the township.
It's something we can definitely look at.
Okay. It's just because if I were to read that, I wouldn't necessarily assume that those things were included. Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burnt,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwalt,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Reckless.
Yes,
Yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.3 is the 2023 conferences. I have a motion, council approves the list of conferences that members of council and staff will attend in 2023. Can we bring up the list, please? So I guess if we just go through them one by one, the A and CTO, does staff attend that one?
We haven't in the past, no.
Because would staff like to attend that one?
If staff were to attend any conference, I think it would be the OEMC conference in September. I think that would be beneficial for staff to attend.
So we'll stroke off A and CTO, okay? And CAMA, that's the,
So that's the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators.
okay, is that one that you would normally attend?
No, that wouldn't be one that we normally attended. And I think so this year, if we attended the OEMC, I think that would be most beneficial for staff.
Okay. The OSM conference is in Brantford. Is any member of council any interest in attending that one?
isn't that more for, urban? Than-
It's more for some of the smaller communities,
All of them.
smaller.
okay. More.
No, I don't. The two that I always like to attend are the AMO conference and Roma. Roma I've already attended. And AMO is one that I certainly like to attend.
Yeah,
What about that's municipal finance officers? Is that one that,
So that one,
Okay.
we can attend it virtually,
oh, you can?
so you can, pick what events you'd like to go to. And then the cost is lower.
Right. And Ogra is more for the roads.
Roads, yeah,
Staff.
public works.
Does Ron want to attend that?
I could definitely ask him, if he would like to attend this year.
And FCM, that's the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. The one advantage of that conference is that they move it from province to province every year. This year it's in Toronto, so it is in Ontario. I don't think I would go to it, but it gives you a more global
perspective.
perspective on what's happening. And then the MILEAO or EOA. What one does that, what's that acronym?
So that's the Municipal Law Enforcement Officers Association, so that's per bylaw.
Okay. And do we know if Jill would be interested in going to that?
I know she, had mentioned that she is attending the Ontario Building,
Right.
officers, conference this year. So I can definitely ask her if she would like to attend.
So the only ones I'm seeing then that there's real interest in is the OEMC, AMO, and possibly OGRA or the one for bylaw enforcement. And do we know our budget last year? I don't think we spent our conference budget.
You get know.
So would you propose using the same figure for budget this year?
I would, yes.
Okay. Is council okay with that? I asked most of the questions, but,
No, we're concur.
okay, so do I need to write those all down or Laura, do you have them?
I think so, but who's attending what?
Emma,
So Councillor Robinson is going to attend AMO. I'm attending as well. But I can always use up my conference per diem from the county. Yeah. And OEMC, you would have,
I would propose 2 staff members, one being special projects coordinator, which is a lot of information on economic development. And then one other staff member,
okay,
and then possible one staff member for the Ontario Good Roads, and one for the municipal law enforcement association.
and do any of the other councillors want to attend OEMC or AMO?
Not really.
I looked at my schedule for these, Mr. Mayor. I'm not available for any of the listed conferences.
Okay. Councillor Burns, any?
No.
Okay. So then I'll get a mover and a seconder for the list that we've just discussed, moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Ricky Schoenfeld. Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buchwald,
Yes,
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Ricky Schoenfeld,
Yes,
Yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.4 is the procedural bylaw review. And I have a motion that council accepts the procedural bylaw review part 2. And I'm gonna move in a seconder. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burge. Comments, questions? Councilor Ricky Shelton.
Just the role of the mayor, like, A2.3, should we all, I know it's in the municipal, but should we always say the chief executive officer of the municipality? Is that something all municipalities do, is say that the mayor is also like the CEO?
Yes, go ahead. Michelle.
So as you mentioned in the report, that's the wording or the language that they can use, that is the chief executive officer of the municipality.
Yeah, because I just found that kind of weird, because when Mr. Sprint was here, he was the CAO, and
He was
that's,
the CEO, but the mayor is the CEO.
yeah, so it's just something that I've never seen before. And then the last thing is the alternate mayor. Do we have an alternate mayor?
That's one thing we will have to update that bylaw, so we can bring that back to the next
The
meeting.
next meeting, okay.
All right. Okay. I mean, everything else, I read it a few times and it seemed good. Just that one wording I thought was weird.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Ricky Shelton.
Yes,
And a yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.5. Excuse me, the Warm Hearts Winter Festival, storage shed. I have a motion that council accepts the Warm Hearts Winter Festival and storage shed report is presented. And further, the council grants permission to the Golden Lake Property Owners Association to install a storage shed at Island View Drive Park. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Ricky Schultz. Comments, questions? Councilor Ricky Schultz.
well, I do think it's a great idea, and it was nice that they got some of that equipment, you know, through their grant money and stuff. My suggestion is when they build the storage, they try and make it vandalism proof, like, you know, if they had a window, perhaps put like a heavy mesh on it. And I know at school, they even put like tin on the outside just to reduce the chances of people burning it. And I know they talked at Shaw Woods, and I'm not telling them what to do, but they're looking for one of those 8x8 little sea cans, you know, or maybe 10x8, and basically they're indestructible, right? You can make them look nice by putting a roof on them and even clad it, but I mean, just keeping in mind that something like that might be prone to people deciding to break in.
Yeah, we just hope that they don't.
yes,
So that does happen.
Sometimes like
especially
a good old fence is a great defense or a great defensive defense. So I just think, and maybe they've thought about that, but like, I mean, sometimes you get those inexpensive sheds, but it's really easy for people to decide to break into them and stuff like that.
especially with the camp so close by.
Yeah, that's right, and all the summer traffic and stuff like that, and especially if they think there's something good in it, right? And like perhaps like one of those sea can is nearly as cheap as trying to buy something or construct it or something like that, you know? Anyway, just a thought, you know, you wouldn't want them to put all that time and effort and money in it, and then somebody destroys it.
Any other comments, questions?
I was just going to say that the 300 participants is pretty exciting
It is, yes.
for, as an event, I think locally.
Councilor Buckwell, do you have a question? Or
I was just gonna echo Councilor Ricky Shanefeld's comments about a sea can, because again, they are very, very secure. And they're not that hard to dress up with, like you say, some metal, like tin type thing. And potentially even put a couple solar panels on it so that they can charge various stuff for the season. Because I know they were using the solar mounted lights on the rink this year, might be nice to have some lights actually close to shore where people are coming out and make it a little more visible too. So that, again, a sea can with a roof on it might be just right for that.
Okay, and then assuming staff has taken some notes, so. Seeing no other comments, I'll call the vote. Councilor Burke.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes,
Councilor Reddish-Onkel.
Yes,
Yes. Harry, thank you. Item 7.6 is the Seniors Community Grant and Fellowship Fellows Project. I have a motion that council accepts the Seniors Community Grant report as presented, and further, if the Eatonville and District seniors are successful in the grant application, council authorizes the Eatonville and District seniors free use of the Golden Lake Community Hall and Lake Dory Lodge for seniors programming. Can I get a mover in a second? Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Burt. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burnt,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Reddish-Onkel.
yes,
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.7 is the Rural Community Cooperative Business Breakfasts. I have a resolution, or a motion, I should say, that council accepts the Rural Community Cooperative Business Breakfast report as presented, and that the township participates in the Rural Community Cooperative Business Breakfasts with a budget of $2,000 for the event. We got to move in a second, moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Reddish-Onkel. Comments, questions? Councilor Reddish-Onkel.
just to double check, so basically somebody from the office would contact like any business in North Algona Wilberforce to see if they'd want to come to the breakfast?
We would try to contact as many businesses as we could and put on our social media, channels and whatnot also.
So a suggestion might be that that's great. And you know how, like, when we developed the website, we talked about like boosting our business partners and stuff? I'm just wondering, I know it might take a little additional time, but we'd like killing two birds with one stone. Maybe you could get information, and then at some point in time, you could put that information on our website about the various businesses. Just a thought, like, that wouldn't have to be done all right away, but if we're reaching out, which I think is great, because they do pay a business tax already, so this would be a good way of saying, hey, you know, you pay extra money, therefore we're inviting you to a breakfast, might be a great way to network, and we're also gonna use this information and put it on our website. But I know time is essential, so we could put that on some other time, but at least you have the information on a piece of paper.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea.
Even maybe as easy as having them register with their business information, and then it's easy to transfer onto our website. And then they're logged, because I know they're supposed to volunteer that information, and I don't even know if a lot of businesses are aware that we have that.
Yeah, and even the ones that said they were going, maybe they could fill out the piece of paper, and the ones that said they weren't, you could just say, okay, could you just give me an extra time and we'll do this, and then, I don't know, just a thought, but it would be a great way.
Send a picture of your business card or.
Yeah.
Something simple.
What we got under in front of you tonight for the.
Yeah, it would just to me be a great way of like, you know, getting that ball rolling, especially when you're already talking to them.
Yeah, if we got them all on Community Connect, it's much easier. You would know when the next breakfast is gonna happen. Good ideas. Any other comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
yes.
Councilor Reddish-Onkel.
Yes,
Yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.8 is the transfer site hours. I have a motion that council accepts the public works report as presented and further agrees to discontinue the Burn Road Waste Site Sunday hours and increase the regular summer hours by 1 hour on Mondays and Wednesdays. We got a mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councilor Buckwald.
Yeah, I've got some concerns over this. I know based on the report that was attached that this is actually a day when our transfer site on Burnt Road still brings in more than it costs to run it. If you look at over the course of 15 weeks, they brought in, based on those numbers, 600 plus bags of garbage based at $2 a bag. I think that's a pretty significant amount of waste that's being processed on there throughout the summer. So whether it's local residents that are taking advantage of the summer hours, or whether it's cottagers taking advantage of it before they return, I know this has been raised a number of times over the years, and there seems to be a desire to eliminate it. But when we look at the numbers, we actually see that we're not losing money on it. So I think it's something we need to think long and hard about before we eliminate it. I recognize the challenges that Public Works is having with staffing it. Maybe it requires a modification of hours, that the students get their hours starting on the weekend instead of during the week. If that's operationally feasible. If it's not, maybe we have to look at bringing something in, but I hate the idea of taking away a service that's being used and is actually coming in with a surplus as opposed to a cost.
Councilor Reggie-Schoenfeld.
And it's hard to decide whether it's a convenience thing of taking it on Sunday, or if it was a need to take it in on Sunday. And I think that's something, I think the biggest challenge is trying to get somebody to work there on a Sunday from our township, right? So I don't know, it's one of those educational things, like maybe on that Saturday, it's gonna be super duper busy. Like if I was a cottager and I knew it wasn't open on Sunday, then I would take, and if I was leaving on Sunday, I'd still take the bulk of my garbage there on Saturday. And then maybe I'd take the rest, you know, home with me and stuff like that. I mean, last year they had also talked about the fact it was just difficult to find somebody to work on that day, you know? And so I get that it's a good thing and it's a nice convenience, but maybe we just have to train them, just like we're doing with their big bulk garbage, that, you know, Saturday is the day. Like, I know some other municipalities are open, but I know like White House Station, the Ottawa Valley Waste Recovery, they're not open. So, and we're not open here at Shaw Woods, and I would have to say there are probably cottagers here from Lake Dory and from Mink Lake that would benefit by being able to bring their garbage here, you know, on a Sunday. And if anything, even having this open on a Wednesday during the summer season would probably benefit people, but we don't, so.
I tend to agree with the comments from Councilor Reggie-Schoenfeld. I think we did look at it a number of years ago, and then we decided that we would have staff track the amount of people using it on Sunday. I think when the residents found out, then they put out a big call for people to start bringing their garbage on Sunday, just to make it look like it was more utilized than really it had been before. So we kept that service for a year, or was it maybe even 2? And with having Saturdays and Mondays and Wednesdays, I really don't know if Sundays is necessary, especially when it's so difficult to find somebody to work. And I certainly appreciate Councilor Buckwald's comment that that particular site may not be running at a deficit, but overall, between the 2 sites, we aren't covering our full expenses on our service fees through bag tax. So I think we're about $1,000 short of covering it. So this would help us make sure we get a lot closer to balancing our budget, I would think. Just my thoughts. Any other council?
I went to the dump last year on a Sunday. It was probably in August. And it was a rainy day, and like I was the second person there, and it was near closing time. And the guy was just sitting there, like you said, it was really dead there on that Sunday. So it's one thing if you do it and it's another thing if you don't.
Councillor Robinson.
I was just thinking that, as, Councillor Schoenfeld indicated, if the community recognize that we're not open on a Sunday, they will change their habits. And, the pressure that we have for staffing right now, it would just make sense to have that one thing eliminated.
Any other comments? Councillor Buckwell.
I hear what everyone is saying and I understand it. What I'm trying to wonder, is it necessary then even to increase the hours on the other 2 days? Is there that much flow happening on those 2 days? Because we're looking at removing 3 hours on Sunday to replace them with 2 hours on other days during the week. So you're basically cost-wise, you're talking about only changing it by 1 hour's worth of labor. As far as cost savings go, is that worth making a change that might affect those, 600 bags that are coming in? I recognize that the staffing pressures are part of what's driving this at this point. But again, do we have any data that says we need to increase the hours on the other 2 days, or do we just make the reduction?
A good point, Councillor Buckwell, and I tend to agree that I think if people know there's no longer availability on Sunday, they change their habits. I don't know if we have to increase the hours on the other 2 days, but I'll leave that up to council.
I have to agree with that. You have 9 to 3 on Saturday, and there's no reason to increase the hours.
Councillor Reddy.
Just a suggestion, maybe we could just tell the landfill attendants what we're planning, that we're going to eliminate the service on Sunday. And then if they see a need that we have to extend the hours on a Saturday or the other day, they could tell us, and then we could bring it to council and see. I mean, maybe it's, you open it an hour earlier and that takes care of it, but maybe we just have to wait and see if there is a need for the extra hours, and just tell them we want to know, and they can tell us.
Or, yeah, Councillor Byrd.
I know on a Wednesday it's really busy there when it opens. Because my parents can hardly keep up some days when it's open.
So opening it earlier would make help, or later?
No, she's open from 3 to 6 on Wednesday. And she's always there early, and there's people at the gate Saturday morning at 8:30, doesn't open till 9. Like there's 5 or 6 cars lined up there at 8:30 to go into the dump. But I don't think there's a need to extend the hours.
So, Mr. Mayor, if I may, so maybe the solution is then if we're going to eliminate the Sunday, let's not make a whole lot of other changes, and just keep things that people are used to. And we can always revisit it either in the fall or for next budget year, if we find that we need to increase those other hours. Or it may be a matter of, if Wednesdays are really busy, maybe we need another attendant there to assist in keeping the traffic flowing with the recycling and the waste. But again, I've been up there. Yeah, Wednesdays are busier, but I don't think that I don't personally see a need, again, anecdotally on what I've seen, to extend those hours on the other days. I think if we're going to remove the Sunday, I think we just remove it and take the hopeful savings.
We need a new resolution. Yeah, to me, that's more than friendly, though, to me.
Okay.
If we just add and not increase, just the word not, that's one little word.
Mr. Mayor, if the mover and seconder are okay with the friendly amendment, I would just end the resolution after Sunday hours.
Yeah, and take out the rest.
Well, that would work, yeah. And Council Burton and Council Robinson, are you
Yes.
okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be right there.
Were you putting that up? Okay. So the resolution would read that council accepts the public works report as presented and further agrees to discontinue the Burnt Road waste site Sunday hours. There is a mover and a seconder. I will call the vote. Council Burnt,
Yes.
Council Buckwald,
No.
Council Robinson,
Yes.
Council Reggie Schultz.
Yes,
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. So then we get to correspondence. I have a motion, council accepts correspondence items 9.1.1 to 9.1.2 as information. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Reggie Schultz, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burns,
Yeah.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Schultz.
yes,
And a yes, carried, thank you. Item 9.2.1 is the Eganville District Seniors. I have a motion that council consider the Eganville and District Senior Needs Association request for an additional $1,500 during the 2023 budget deliberations. I'm gonna move in a seconder. Moved by Councilor Burnt, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Comments? Questions, Councilor Reggie
did they say why? Did they, in their letter to council and to the township, did they say why they needed an increase?
I think so.
They just said they like it, didn't really say.
So it's to permit them to extend their programming.
Mhm.
So post-pandemic, the needs in our community have increased exponentially, and they're seeing more requests for services. That comes with an increase in, expenses for supplies and equipment.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'm not sure myself, because I know from the previous resolution we just passed, we're offering them, rent-free space at, the lodge and at the Golden Lake Community Center for programming. We've increased already, we've gone from 5,000 to 6,000 in our contribution, so. That's just my thought. I don't think I will support it. And I will call the vote. Council Burnt,
I'll support the 6,000, but not the 1,500 extra.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
No.
Councilor Regis Johnson,
No,
and I know
So just to clarify what the resolution is,
yeah,
it'd be additional 15 months.
Yes.
so the resolution says that it will be considered during the 2023 budget deliberation. Okay, so we'll bring this request back when we're discussing the budget.
But if we've all voted, if the majority voted no, you don't even have to bring it back,
Well, that's true. The resolution is defeated.
mhm.
Yes.
That's true.
and it has been defeated. Item 9.2.2 is the Township of Ashfield, Holborn, Wawanosh. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Township of Ashfield, Holborn, Wawanosh, and supports their resolution in regards to the future accuracy of the permanent register of electors, and that a copy of this resolution will be forwarded to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Elections Ontario, and MPP John Yakubowski. And I got a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Byrne. Comments, questions? Councillor Reicher-Schonfeld.
Would this help? I know some of the electorates were missed on the last election. Would this process help, the people not?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Did we lose Doug or just his picture? Oh, there he is.
Just my picture.
So I'll call the
I
vote.
didn't think anyone wanted to see me blow my nose.
We'll call the vote. Councillor Byrne,
Yes,
Councillor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Reicher-Schonfeld.
Yes,
Yes, Barry, thank you. And 9.2.3 is the town of Petrolia. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the town of Petrolia and supports their resolution in regards to school board election expenses. And that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Honorable Stephen Lecce, Minister of Education, MPP John Yakubowski, and the County of Renfrew. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Buckwell. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Byrne. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Byrne. Oh, sorry, Councillor Robinson. You had a
I don't understand this.
So I'll take a stab at it and and then I'll ask staff if I'm on the right track. So apparently all of the election expenses come back to the municipalities, even though the school board representatives are listed on the ballot, they don't pay anything towards the election expenses.
Mhm.
And I think that's what this resolution is asking for, is that they contribute
Sure.
a percentage at least to the cost.
Okay. That's what I thought it was, but it just seemed wasn't as clear.
So I'll call the vote. Councillor Burns,
yes,
Councillor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes,
Councillor Reicher-Schonfeld.
yes,
And a yes. Barry, thank you. And item 9.2.4 is the Valley Earth Days Art 2023. I have a motion in council endorses Earth Day Arts 2023 activities through all of our township social media. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Reicher-Schonfeld, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
yes,
Councillor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
yes,
Councillor Reicher-Schonfeld,
yes,
and a yes, it's carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.5 is the senior elected officials workshop on energy management. I have a motion that council approves a list of council and staff members to attend the senior and elected officials workshop on emergency management on March 29th, 2023. And I believe that's at the Horton Community Center. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckwell. Comments, questions?
is this a required? Sorry, yes, ma'am.
It's not required. It's a workshop that the county, I think they tend to do it every time there's after an election and there's new councils. And it just basically covers the relationship between the Ontario Emergency Management head, or whatever his title is, and then the county role, and how that ties into the municipal roles as well.
I think,
Did I get that right, Council Buckwalter? You may want to add.
Yeah, EMO or the county tries to host one after the election because you have new members of council coming in. It's just so that everybody's on the same page and understands what as individual councilors our role is, if any. But it also lets us know what our CEMC's role is, what our head of council's role is. And with a small council like ours, it's conceivable that anybody could be in that role as head of council if something happens and the mayor's out of town, say at a conference or gone south for vacation. So I would encourage any members of council that haven't already attended one to attend this to get a feel for what's going on, because we've seen over the last few years bad things can happen at the most inopportune times. So it's a good learning experience for all members of council.
I would agree. I have attended one of the sessions in my previous term on council, and they're very, very informative.
I did go to that one last.
I think,
Yeah.
But I think I need a refresher.
Is there, how many members of staff would be going to that, or would be interested in going?
I'd say one or two.
Okay,
I'll probably let you know.
so do I have to write individuals down, or do we just put a number in?
A number would be fine.
So I'm thinking maybe 4. Okay,
Two staff, two council members.
yeah. I'll call the vote. Council Burns,
Yes.
Council Buckwalter,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Recchi.
Yes,
Yes, it's carried. Thank you. So, are there any matters of urgency? Are there any notices of motion? We've done reports from committees. So upcoming meetings and unfinished business. We have a recreation committee meeting, March the 13th, 2023 at 6 p.m. We have a preliminary budget meeting, March the 15th, 2023 at 7 p.m. We have our draft budget meeting, March 21st, 2023 at 2:30 p.m. And we have a regular council meeting, March 21st, 2023 at 7 p.m. It's a busy month of March.
March Madness.
Yes. And we have no closed meetings tonight. So we'll move to item 17, which is our confirmatory bylaw. I have the motion that bylaw 2023-12 be the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for March the 7th, 2023. Be read first and second time the 7th day of March, 2023. You're going to move in a second, moved by Councilor Recchi, seconded by Councilor Burns. Be read a third time and finally passed the 7th day of March, 2023. Councilor Burns?
Yes.
Councilor Buckwalter?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
yes.
Councilor Recchi?
Yes.
Yes. Carrie, thank you. And finally, I have a motion at this March 7th, 2023 regular meeting of council adjourns at 7:50 p.m. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Recchi. Councilor Burns?
Yes.
Councilor Buckwalter?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Recchi?
Yes.
And yes, that's carried. Thank you. We are adjourned.